Ethan grew up in a small town where every house looked the same. From the outside, life seemed fine. People went to work, kids played, and weekends were for rest. But Ethan always felt like something didn't add up. Why did some people work so hard and still struggle? And why did others seem to have choices, freedom, and time? He never understood the difference, until he was guided by two very different mentors. Ethan lived mostly with his father, a kind man who believed deeply in stability. If you opened the door to their home, you'd find books about job security, old certificates on the wall, and a desk covered with bills, all carefully organized. Ethan loved his dad, but the man worried constantly about money, work, and the future. Across town lived Mr. Romero, his best friend's father. He owned a few small businesses, dressed casually, and always seemed calm. He wasn't flashy rich, but he had something Ethan's father never did: freedom. Ethan didn't realize it at the time, but these two men would teach him completely opposite ideas about life and money. In his mind, he called them Dad 1, the safe thinker, and Dad 2, the builder. The safe thinker, Ethan's own father, taught him, get good grades, find a secure job, work hard, don't take risks, save every penny you can. Whenever Ethan asked about money, his father got uneasy. Money is complicated, he'd say, just keep your head down and you'll be okay. To his dad, the world was full of dangers: losing a job, getting into debt, failing at something new. His best weapon was caution. And so, Ethan grew up thinking success came from avoiding mistakes and never stepping out of line. The builder, Mr. Romero, believed something entirely different. Money isn't something to fear, he'd tell Ethan, it's a tool. Learn how it works, and it works for you. His house was full of odd things: blueprints, property brochures, notebooks filled with numbers, and shelves of books on entrepreneurship. Instead of bills stacked in envelopes, he had plans, dozens of them. When he looked at the world, he didn't see risks first. He saw opportunities. One summer afternoon, when Ethan was about 14, Mr. Romero invited him and his friend to help repaint a rental garage. After a few hours, the boys asked, "So, how much do we get paid?" Mr. Romero smiled. "You can have $10 each. Or I can teach you how I make this garage pay me every month." Ethan's friend grabbed the money and ran off to buy snacks. Ethan hesitated. Something inside him whispered, "Learn." So he stayed. And that was the first day he heard about the difference between what brings money to you versus what money leaves you. Or, in Mr. Romero's words, you can either work for money, or you can teach money to work for you. That line stuck in Ethan's mind like glue. As Ethan grew older, the two voices in his life grew louder. His father said, "Get a stable job with benefits. Don't take chances. Make sure you're safe." Mr. Romero said, "Build something. Learn about investing. Don't chase comfort, chase knowledge." Ethan felt pulled in two directions. One path was familiar and secure. The other was uncertain, but strangely exciting. He didn't want to disappoint either mentor. But he needed real answers to that same question from his childhood. Why do some people work hard their entire lives but never seem free? At 18, Ethan visited Mr. Romero again. "I'm tired of feeling confused," he admitted. "Why do most people struggle with money?" The older man laughed gently. "Because they only learn how to work for money, not how money works." Ethan frowned. "That sounds too simple." "It is simple," Mr. Romero replied. "Not easy, but simple." He grabbed a notebook and drew two columns. On the left, things that take your money. On the right, things that bring you money. He explained, "Most people spend their whole life filling the left side, but the ones with freedom fill the right side." Ethan stared at the page. For the first time, money, choices, and freedom all made sense together. Years passed. Ethan finished school, got a normal job, and followed his father's advice. For a while, but every month, when the bills came, he felt that same knot in his stomach, the one his father lived with every day. One evening, after a stressful day at work, Ethan looked at his notebook again. The left side was full: rent, car payments, bills. The right side was still empty. He took a deep breath. "I'm going to fill the right side," he whispered. That night, he used part of his savings to start a small online store. It failed, but something interesting happened. Ethan wasn't discouraged. He felt alive. For the first time, he wasn't just reacting to life. He was building something. Ethan tried again. A small digital service. Failed. A handmade craft store. Failed. A tutoring project had a little success, then failed. But with each failure, he learned another piece of the puzzle: marketing, customers, product value. Years passed, and Ethan slowly became someone new, a person who could turn ideas into action, who understood that failing wasn't the enemy. Staying still was. One day, after years of trial and error, he launched a small software tool that solved a simple problem for local businesses. It started with one customer, then 10, then 100, and for the first time, Ethan experienced money earned while he slept. He smiled and thought, so this is what he meant by money working for you. Now in his early 30s, Ethan visited his father, who was still working long hours, still anxious about bills. His dad asked softly, "Are you really doing okay without a traditional job?" Ethan took his father's hands. "I'm okay because you taught me to work hard," he said. "And Mr. Romero taught me where to direct that hard work." His father looked down, ashamed. "I wish I had understood those things earlier." Ethan smiled gently. It's never too late to learn. A few years later, Mr. Romero passed away. At the funeral, Ethan stood quietly, remembering the man who changed his life with a single sentence. After the service, he found a small letter addressed to him. It read, "Freedom isn't given, it's built. Brick by brick, choice by choice. Teach others what you've learned." Ethan folded the letter with care. From that day on, he dedicated his life to sharing the mindset that had transformed him. Don't fear money, learn how it works. Don't chase safety, chase understanding. Don't try to look rich, build real freedom. And always choose the path of growth, not comfort. This became his mission. Ethan finally understood the difference between the two mentors in his life. One taught him how to survive. The other taught him how to live. This story reminds us that financial freedom starts with your mindset. Working hard isn't enough. You have to direct your effort wisely. Mistakes are just part of the growth process. Freedom is something you build intentionally, one choice at a time. Thank you for watching. And if this story resonated with you, please like and subscribe for more.